Welcome everyone to a return to Cold Waters. That's right, this will be the start of a new gameplay series on Cold Waters, and this time we'll be playing in the modern era, and absolutely, without a doubt, playing with the newest tool, the finest toy that NATO has to offer, and that is the Seawolf nuclear attack submarine. This thing is very quiet. I actually don't have the all the statistics about this one versus so this is an extremely quiet submarine. However, I'm not sure how much quiet, or possibly how much more quiet I should say, is the they don't even offer it. The Narwhal I thought was very quiet. Yeah, in that case I guess the Seawolf was probably the quietest submarine we have access to. Now, we will be facing up against Russian submarines, Chinese submarines. This theater is in the Pacific, off of the coast of China. Now, what I've found from this so far is it makes for a terrible submarine time, since you're in very, very shallow waters. We'll see that in a second. Basically, we first start off with the news, the escalation, the lore. There's some financial crisis. This causes some conflict between China and the United States, and what do you know, before we know it, we're at war. Doesn't really matter, right? We don't need a exact reason to go to war. We just want to be involved in the conflict. Okay, so we start docked at Guam, and we're going to take off. We are the USS Seawolf herself, not we are the namesake of the class. I think there were only 3 Seawolves ever built. Seawolf, as far as I know, is the quietest NATO ship. Well, actually, I think the Virginia class might be slightly quieter. As far as I know, the Virginia class was kind of like a cheaper version of the Seawolf. I think the Seawolf was like 3 or 4 billion per, and the Virginia was built. It has a different role as well, because it's more like it's smaller, but so that's more. Basically, it's cheaper, but also there is the mission roles that it can undertake are slightly different because it's smaller. I mean, so cheaper, but also more coastal water friendly, you might say. And a lot of missions now that submarines undertake. It's very rare to think of a scenario where we'd actually be the United States. I'm not in the armed services. A lot of respect for anybody who is. But it's tough to imagine a scenario where there would be submarine versus submarine anymore. It seems like a lot of covert operations might be more important. Basically deploying SEALs or launching missiles at remote targets, something like this. Okay, so anyways, our mission objective is to sink a wolf pack of enemy attack submarines. Great. We need to go around Tsushima Strait between Japan and the Korean Peninsula. Okay, well, we can do that. I don't know if we're at war with China, what we have, why would we have any merchant ships going that far? What's the point? But okay, I guess they're somehow, with American interests, some transports are being sent up the Tsushima Strait, possibly to supply Russia? I have no idea. I have no idea. I mean, the United States is, in this scenario, the United States is kind of at conflict with Russia as well. China is buying Russian hardware, so we'll see alphas, we'll see all kinds of Russian ships. Let's first look at what we have here. I am now forgetting all the tools for rearming. R is to reload. Thank you, that's the one. So what do I want to start out with? I want 1 Moss ready, because hey, we don't need 8 torpedoes to be launched at the same time. And probably a couple of airborne, just in case we need to get that done. And why not 1 ship, land, I think. Oh, it's okay, not the gray. Not the gray. So we want the anti-ship. Now, the difference between these two in the Seawolf is not that great, because I don't think there's a different launch depth. I actually forget the launch depth. I'll have to remember that at some point. So this is fine for me. Let's cast off, anchors away. We didn't actually switch our armament at all, so there's no penalty. There's no time in port that we have to wait. We can immediately cast off. We were just basically fitting which torpedoes will be in what bays, and we can do this right before combat even. So right click, which is, no, left click, which is fast moving. We're going all the way up here that might be our target. There's one. We'll just go after anything over here at all. Why not? And you can see it's gonna, I'm gonna try to avoid there. Okay, well let's go for you. And let's right click to go a little bit slower, which is patrol speed, which means we shouldn't be caught completely with our pants down. Okay, our depth 150. What is the depth of the water? That's the interesting thing. Let's just make sure everything is loaded as we want it. You know what? I am going to make one more change. I'm going to go back to something like this. Since we're supposed to be up against submarines, submarines are not going to be threatened altogether too much by surface missiles. so we'll put a few extra torpedoes. And all hands man battle stations. I believe it's Shift S still to go ultra quiet. It is. And this is the kind of depths we'll be dealing with for the majority of this series. So this has its pluses and its minuses, I would say. I like the whole idea of diving deep and, you know, this whole idea of operation of submarines in deep waters. I can see why the Virginia class is like a nice option in these kind of waters. By the way, one of the bigger changes with the Seawolf is we went to the mid... I don't know, I'm blanking on the name. We went to the mid-body fin instead of the conning tower fin. Pluses and minuses to that. This is what the Russians were using for a long time, so we finally switched to it at some point. One possible benefit is when you're surfaced, it's a lot easier to dive since the fin is often out of the water. And now it's not out of the water when we're surfaced. So, anyway, no contacts so far. We pull up our map. Nothing so far. We're rigged for quiet running. And we just kind of stay. We'll probably wiggle a little bit. Rudder slight right. 10 degrees right is what we have right now. We'll go 15 and we'll just kind of spin in circles. Sometimes it's useful to try to find places where you can kind of see, I don't know if you can, but barely maybe you can see these sections of greater depth. I think the depth changes will be within like 20 meters, so it won't be much. But since there's nothing to prevent us, let's actually spin back north. You can see these lines move with us. It's real. It's real depth there. Actually, southwest is our best bet. So we might just spin. Actually, we're very close to some shallow water. Let's go hard rudder left to port. Try to make it into this body, and then we can move back over there if we want. So unfortunately, this is a lot of the game. I might just go, is it F10 to speed up time? No. F9? Yes, F9. And then we'll just wait till we make contact with something. By the way, F5 to, so 244. We have no contact. I mean, we might as well scroll over to, no, that's not what I wanted. No, that's not what I wanted either. How do I switch this back and forth? Is it, no. I'm going to hit the wrong button and we're going to do something terrible. I thought it was, oh, I'm on the wrong one. There, now we should be able to switch. There we go. So we might as well keep ourselves in the area where the submarines are, the Kula. That would be like the worst case scenario, so good to keep something like that up. We'll slow our turn down a bit. I doubt we're going to find much in the way of anything though. I mean, we need the sub 1,000 foot measurement chart for these kind of waters. Alright, again we'll just go fast, see what we find. Now, we actually are on a mission to find these things, so I'm thinking we might have to be a little bit more aggressive. What we know is, okay, let's think for a second. We were moving up from the southeast. They were on the northwest, which means those things should more or less be correct. I think that they can be probably in any 180-degree arc. What I might do is just launch a torpedo, a Moss, let's say, in some direction and see what happens. Of course, we want to launch it in the direction in which we don't want to go. So let's do this, and then let's go rudder hard right. And see what happens. There she goes. Now, immediately they would already hear this, I believe. Probably, I mean, it does somewhat give our position away. I mean, they don't know which direction we were heading when we fired this, but they have like a cone of possible locations for me, if they hear this at all. What was the background noise? 88? That's not too quiet, so it's possible they just won't hear this. And I like to waggle my tail as well, keep my submarine moving, which should give my deployed array a better chance to detect things. We're just getting nothing. Well, the next idea is just to go active. That's probably not a good idea. What I can do is release from quiet running, load another Moss. What we can do is actually just fire a torpedo off in a random trajectory and get it to go active. Now, if we lose the wire, it can possibly circle back on us. This is a bit gamey. What I'm doing is I'm not following typical SOP. I'm doing this because we get a mission failure if we don't end up detecting these submarines, which is not good. And I dislike that you just, there's not, the game has to just interpret your actions in a binary fashion. Your commander can't look and see, okay, yeah, you actually did try your best. Or they didn't press us and say, it's absolutely mission critical that you detect these things. Okay, well, I'm thinking we could, it's just something you wouldn't do, but we could threaten our entire crew by going faster just to find out where these enemies are. It's basically the same thing as launching a Moss, but not quite as, a little more desperate. Not quite as safe. Like launching a Moss, maybe you could see somebody doing. I mean, if they knew that there were enemy submarines in the area. If they thought they were detected. But I don't think you would see anybody intentionally drawing the enemy out. It's a bold move, but you know what? How are we going to do this anyway, right? Let's do it. In fact, I'll just go active. Preparing to counter launch. Ah, we got something. Got him. Okay. All we needed was 2 pings. 2 pings only. And I'm pretty sure that there's a... Yep, there they are. Okay, so it might have been worth it to do this. A little suicidal in my opinion, but probably the best of our options, like going fast. At least we know where they are, right? Now, as far as I can tell, they have launched a torpedo at us. I think that's us. Us, them. Us, them. Doo doo doo. Anyway, so we're going to go ahead and just move away. We'll get this thing to go active a little bit earlier as well. And we'll see what happens. Actually, let's keep curving back. I don't want to have my rear directly to them because then they're quote-unquote in my baffles, right? Even though I think the towed array takes care of such problems. It's funny, you can see these things launching right, just going right over ahead of each other. There's mine. There's his. Yep, very interesting. And ours is already active, so hopefully, yeah, we want it to actually go straight. I want it to kind of swivel. Still have it on a wire, so I can actually direct it slightly. Like, go a little bit right. It did. The idea being, hopefully, to get the enemy to reveal itself more than to actually kill it. Even if we can scare it, that's still valid. Aha! Well, we seem to be close. Got him. I actually got him. Okay, speed up a little bit. And let's dive a little bit. Oops. I have no idea what we're up against, but it's just gonna have to be okay for now. Okay, let's take a look at our torpedo. It has acquired a target. Got him. Is it breaking up or is she down? And what is that? It's not an Akula. Oh, it's a Sierra. Sierra is sound contact, but there's also a submarine called Sierra. The rear fin is blown off, so I don't know if this is it, but it appears to be in good agreement. No, maybe not. A little too boxy as well. I think it's more of a boxy thing. Could be this Kilo. In fact, that one has no rear fin. We didn't blow off the rear fin. It just doesn't exist. So I believe this was a Kilo. And look at that. They line up just about perfectly. I don't know which of these two or how you could even tell the difference. But probably this is what it is. It's not a Ming. Not a Romeo. Yeah, it's got to be this. Oops. Back. Sorry. Now we can start to see that we're, getting some pings here. They apparently have launched 3 torpedoes. Let's go ahead and speed up a little bit more. We might... I'm not sure if we're going to cavitate. Does not look like it. So it looks like we can get away with without cavitating at 200 feet. I forgot the exact points in time in which you cavitate. Technically, I think they would be different with different submarines. If one submarine can move faster with less use of its actual, the less speed of these, then they're not as likely to cavitate. So, believe we're going to be okay. And that was directly behind us, because that was that one. Towed array is only good at slow speeds. I believe that is that other torpedo. I'm trying to think if we have another submarine on the loose, which would not be good. Also, let's move up to 200 exactly. Because I do not want to hit the bottom on our maiden voyage. I think we're going to be okay. I'm even going to slow us down a little bit. Yeah, trust me. I'm monitoring that. Yeah, we'll keep going up, and we'll speed things up a little bit more. I don't think we'll be detected. Doesn't look like it. Yeah, now that we have 5 knots, we're actually able to see things again. Okay, well, there's 2 weapons nearby, so we can't end quite yet, but... A successful first mission so far. And time for maybe grabbing one more. I hope. Okay, good. Let's leave combat. And there was a song which was undetected. So hopefully this wasn't our mission objective, because we won't have accomplished it completely. Honestly, the song is not that great of a submarine. I hope that they let us go, basically. Very pleased to see that you dealt with the subs with determination and resolve, Commander. Remember that every enemy vessel we take out means a safer transit for our troops and transports. Good work. New orders to be received. So this was our mission objective, and they gave us credit for it, even though we didn't sink both. Okay, I'm happy to see that. Convoys protected somehow, even though we left half of their fighting capability. The Kilo's more aggressive, I mean more potent, deadly than the song, but... Alright, here we go. Intelligence has discerned a pattern to movements of enemy at sea. Replenishments and tankers and tenders. Ah, okay. Surface-mounted fleet this time. Surface-mounted, I mean just the surface fleet. Surface-mounted... I'm talking rule of waves terms. Surface-mounted torpedoes or not. But no, this is a surface fleet. Where are they? From Cameron, somewhere in East China Sea. Well, it will yet again be... Oh, by the way, we should reload. And this time I will go with this configuration. Let me pause. So they're going to leave here, headed for East China Sea. Okay, so this is the bad news. We're going to have to face in very, very, very shallow waters. Let's also let this thing go back to Taipei. Now go. Okay, now go slow. And hey, deep water, yes, yes sir. I don't think this is our mission objective. This is probably a submarine, but that could be fun. So let me just do a status report. Everything looks good. All hands man battle stations. Work for quiet running. And what do we have below 400 feet? Hey, we even have a moderate layer here, which is quite surprising. 171, contact faded. So that's good to know. 171 is almost due south. We'll put our, I don't know if we'll put our nose on or if we should just launch directly at 171. That will stir up the hornet's nest, but we actually should have, put a few more torpedoes on for this kind of mission, since it is submarines we'll be dealing with. And with 400 feet, I have enough, I feel comfortable enough with this much distance that we might be able to play some tricks on torpedoes. Let's just go ahead and prepare torpedo room 1, torpedo bay 1, whatever we want to call these. Let's prepare torpedo for launch. 171. I think we just go right for it. Why waste any time? We know that there's a contact in this direction. We have a strong suspicion. We detected enemy submarines in the area. This is not the way you would normally do it. Again, if this was a realistic game, if I was able to play more realistically, we would just creep. We would like to do this. We would like to use our stealth advantage. Okay, we saw that we were dead on. I saw some kind of radar ping. I'm going to move towards just to narrow my profile. Okay, slightly change that. We have no contacts though, so I have to leave a little bit of angle so that my towed array can still detect them. It's very noisy waters, so yeah, just slightly like this. And then I actually want to guide you slightly to the right. Oh, I think you're okay. I think you're okay. All right. This is so much noise. Let's just go ahead and go active with the torpedo. Okay, here we go. I'm going to raise the game volume up a little bit. Not sure how it is for you guys, but just to make sure it's loud enough. That wasn't much of a difference. Got him! I actually got him. Amazing. And they're deep. Oh, I mean, I've really got them. We actually see the enemy. They are counter-launching. Do they have me? Or what? Where are they launching at? Are they launching a torpedo at my torpedo? Take a look at everything that's going on. This is not our mission objective, obviously, but I'd kind of like to think, even if it's not true. Oh boy. That killing these actually narrows down the number of things we have to face. This could be good. This could be very good. Do they have it in them? Do they have another countermeasure? If they do, they better use it quickly. Too late. Ouch. Oh, she's breaking up. Okay, now we know that that's not the end of the story, right? We know that there's still a big fish in the water. And it is not exactly heading at us. We're probably okay. I actually want to... Well, I guess we can just leave combat. Yeah, okay. Fair enough. It's not our mission target. You know what? This is going to call this episode to a close, though. That was a nice, exciting little opening. We need to get to our second mission. We'll do that in the next episode. So actually, I need to do this and then pause. And then we can save and exit. So, yeah, thanks for watching. This is the first episode in the series, and that's the only time I make this little speech. But if you could, press the thumbs up, give this video a like. That's just for search visibility on YouTube. So I greatly appreciate that. As far as comments go, people who are familiar with my channel know that I actually try to respond. I don't just read, I try to respond to every comment. So, so feel free to interact throughout the series. I'm happy to be back playing Cold Waters, and I hope that you guys enjoy it. So until the next video, thanks for watching, and take care.